Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to transform your Drippy print. So you're going to go ahead and open up your scanned document, and you'll likely need to go ahead and do some editing. So the scanner, things were pretty low contrast from the scan, so you'll probably need to crop it. So you can go ahead and grab your crop tool. I'm going to crop this to 8 by 10. You can also do a freeform crop. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just drag this in. So I'm not cutting off too much of my picture. Don't worry if the scan is like not completely straight. You can go from the edges right here. Okay, if you need to rotate a little bit, I don't need to rotate at all. Oops. Go ahead and go back to the corners. And all right, I'm happy with this crop, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit enter. All right, I need to also, actually it looks like I have just a smidge. Let me get a little, zoom in. I think I'm just getting just like a little bit too much of this edge. Scroll down. Okay, I'm happy with that crop. All right, back to Control 0 for back to center screen. All right, so it was kind of low contrast. The actual print was also a little bit low contrast, but now you have an opportunity to go ahead and fix that up. So you can go ahead and open this up in your camera raw to do that, and you can also use the adjustment layers down here. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on this and say duplicate layer. And then this one I'm going to turn into a smart object. So right click, convert to smart object. All right, and I like doing the smart object, so when I go to my filter, camera raw filter, if I want to make changes, I can go back and continue to make changes. All right, so I know I want to go ahead and give this some more contrast. I'm going to use this slider. You're also welcome to do these initial edits in Lightroom if you prefer. Give this some texture and clarity. Actually, maybe I don't need so much texture, some clarity. I'm going to actually desaturate this all because I want it actually black and white. My whites are not really popping, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So go ahead and play around with this and do some manipulations until it's looking nice or like your original artwork. All right, so I'm happy with this, but again, we're doing some digital stuff to it, so it's completely fine to manipulate a little bit extra here. All right, so I'm liking that a lot better. And again, the reason I like using the smart object is so I can go back in, and if I decide, you know what, actually, I do want to make it even darker, I can still do that and all my sliders are still there. All right, so I'm happy with that. All right, and then now here for the fun part to do the colorization. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a adjustment layer. So I'm grabbing my adjustment layer icon. By the way, if you can't see any of this stuff, window layers. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get one of these, and I'm going to choose gradient. This is different than gradient map. I'm choosing the one up here that's gradient, not gradient map. So I'm going to do gradient. I'm going to go ahead and get gradient. Okay, and it's going to pop up. There's a bunch of different built-in gradients, so you can actually open these little folders. Let me see if I can make this menu bigger. There we go. All right, so there's lots of different folders that you can open and expand them. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see what's here under blues. Okay. I want something a little bit more dramatic than that. Let me get out of there. Let's go for some purples here. All right, so I'm liking this gradient. Okay, you can always reverse the direction, but I'll show you that here in a second. So if you want to play with these things, you can. I'm going to say okay for now, and now I'm going to use a blend mode. So right now, I can't see my picture. I'm going to go ahead and go from normal, drop down to hard light. Okay, and as you can see, it's going to apply this gradient to everything on my picture. If it's a little bit too much, I can always take my opacity down a little. Okay, if it's like washing things out too much, I can also double click on here. Maybe I like these colors, but I want it going the other direction. I can twist this around so I can go ahead and still continue to change these things. If you feel like I like kind of the blue here, but maybe it's like just a little bit too much on my white areas. If I'm not liking that, I can always double click to open my layer style, and here under the blending options, I can also use these sliders. You can see that it's taking away some of that. I don't really like how it's doing it, so it looks a little too pixelated for me. But that is an option. You can also always turn down your opacity. And you can also use your layer mask. So right here, let's say I don't want this here. I can take a black paintbrush, maybe kind of low opacity, and I can just kind of fade. Right here, I'm just kind of getting rid of some of that so that way it's not quite as strong. Okay, and if I want to go and put it back, like I do want this area here, I can go like so. Okay, same thing if I want to get rid of a little bit over here. I'm just kind of erasing this on that area. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and try another colored one. So maybe I'll save this as a version 1 file, save a copy. And I'm going to give this, I'll call this I guess you should probably save a Photoshop that you can go back to. So this is my blue and purple. And then I'll also save it as a JPEG file, save a copy. Oh, I'll save a copy and JPEG. This is my blue and purple. All right, so I've got a blue and purple version. All right, I'll turn this off and then I'll get another gradient to try out. So gradient, again, I'm just gonna drop down. Let's try something maybe here in the red menu. Cool, this one looks neat. Let's see what this looks like. Normal, I'm gonna drop down to hard light. Oh, that's looking too much. So let's see if maybe there's a blend mode, a different blend mode, or maybe this is just a little bit too much. Here, it might also be that this gradient is just like a little bit too dark. And don't forget, if you're liking parts of it, you can always go in here and tweak it. So I'm liking kind of this area here, but I think this is getting a little too dark for me. So maybe I'll do a lighter shade of blue. Okay, so you can still customize any of these things. So maybe I want this to be a little bit more saturated, or maybe I want to go a little bit lighter. Okay, and I'm happy with that. So you don't want to go too heavy-handed on here. You want to definitely introduce some color, but still, you know, preserve the drips and not completely obscure your picture. All right, and I think I'm happy with this. So I'll save this as my second one, save a copy. And this is my, like, I don't know. What colors do I have here? Like orange and blue. Okay, and then I'll quick do one more for you. I think you get the idea by now. Yin yang, gradient. Let's go ahead and get something with some greens. And normal, hard light. And oh, this one's just getting way too washed out. So let's see, maybe this would be a good candidate for playing with this slider a little bit. Let's see. Oh, that doesn't seem to be changing enough for me. Okay, and let me also maybe just start with a little brightness contrast. So maybe this is just getting way too bright. So I can just darken that a little bit with my brightness like so. And maybe it's still a little bit too much. So I'm gonna maybe lower the opacity of that layer a little bit. All right, so that's it. I could save this as a third one, file, save a copy. Maybe I think I'm gonna tweak these colors just a little bit. Not digging this completely. This is like just a little bit, maybe these colors are just a little bit too close for me. Maybe go a little bit darker with that. Or completely new color. Ooh, I kind of like that color combo. All right, I'll probably play around with this a little bit more. I think now that I did that, I can get rid of my brightness contrast. And great, I'm happy with that. So I'll save that as my third one. File, save a copy. And this is my third one. Green and pink. All right, and that's it for this project. This is just like a little spin-off. Um, just while I have you here, one of the things you can also do is you can also use your own colors. So if you want to use a blank layer and go ahead and set that to hard light, you can also hand draw on colors yourself. Let me turn my brush up a little bit more. I'm using just a soft brush. So if you want to kind of hand do some colors on, you're welcome to do that as well. Okay, and that's looking maybe a little too crazy. I'm going to go ahead and filter, blur. I'm going to Gaussian blur these colors a little bit. And maybe turn this down just a smidge. But I do want, I'm losing some of the color, so I'm going to bring that saturation up. Okay, so you can also apply some colors by hand, play around with that as well. And that's it. So you're going to turn in your best.